indirect taxes. So under this topic, we always discuss the important judgments that are being pronounced on a day-to-day basis by the honorable high courts or the advanced ruling authorities or the Supreme Court in the area of indirect taxation. So today, though I do not have much time to, bring many judgments because I was informed on a very short notice about the absentia of Anupji. But I have tried to gather very important judgments, five judgments for the today's session, which I believe is going to help you all in your day-to-day practice or day-to-day working. So the topic for today, there are five judgments. The first judgment is a very important topic, though it is a very, very, very small judgment, just a one-page judgment. But it is pertinent in today's era because many a times I get this query from my client that we have filed an appeal, the hearing has also been held, but appellate authority is not taking any action on my case. It has been pending for quite a long time, even after the conduct of personal hearing. So one such case came up before the Honorable Calcutta High Court, and we'll discuss what exactly were the facts of the case and what was held by the Calcutta High Court. Then there's this one another case which I have also personally handled, that sometimes the department, while inquiring Mr. A, attaches certain property belonging to Mr. B. So Mr. B is a third party for those proceedings. He has not been taken under the guise of the proceedings, but since Mr. B is somehow related to Mr. A, sometimes it happens that Mr. B's property is also attached. For example, Mr. A is residing in a property of Mr. B. So while attaching the properties of Mr. A, department intentionally or unintentionally also attaches the property, the building in which Mr. A is working or residing. So since that building or that property pertains to Mr. B, the question arises that when Mr. B is not part of the proceedings, whether the attachment of the property of Mr. B is valid it is not valid. So we are going to discuss three judgments on that particular topic. One is a very recent judgment. The two judgments are the old judgments. The third topic that we'll discuss is a very, very prominent topic these days, that GST registration is cancelled from retrospective effect. So we are seeing that on a daily basis, department is cancelling the GST registration of every person on a retrospective effect. So even if this is in case of fake invoices, they are cancelling it from retrospective effect, which is reasonable also. But in all other cases, whether it is right in cancelling the registration from retrospective effect. So we are going to discuss one genuine case, which I believe is a case of many taxpayers, many assessees across, more particularly Delhi NCR. So we are going to discuss that one case, a genuine case wherein the GST registration was cancelled from a retrospective effect, and Honorable High Court quashed the order of retrospective cancellation. Then we are going to discuss the fourth case of withholding or refund claim. So in one of the case, the refund claim was withheld by the department on the premise that we are going to file an appeal against the order sanctioning the refund. So in that case, we are going to understand what the High Court held, because this is also something which happens in many cases. Then the fifth important issue is another hot debatable topic in today's era, is a fake invoice. So let's say I filed a refund claim, but the department has rejected or withheld that refund claim just because of the surmise that my supplier has been found fake, or my supplier has taken a fake ITC. So in that case, my refund has been rejected or my refund has been withheld. We are going to discuss one such case. So without taking much time, we are just hopping on to our first topic for the day, wherein the topic says that when appeal is not being disposed of by the appellate authority in a timely manner. So this is a judgment of Honorable Calcutta High Court. The judgment was pronounced on 23rd of September 2022, and the case name is Diamond Beverages Private Limited versus Commission of CGST and CD. Appeals 1, Calcutta and others. So it is a case filed against the appellate authority. What were the facts of the case? The fact of the case states that the appeal was filed before the first appellate authority on 27th of March 2019. The hearing was concluded on 18th of January 2021. So after filing an appeal in 2019 March, around after a period of 2 years, on 18th of January 2021, the PH was also concluded. However, as you can see that this judgment is pronounced on 23rd of September 2022. So even after a lapse of 1.5 years, more than 1.5 years, the no order was passed by the appellate authority in that assessee's case. Even the assessee made two representations before the appellate authority that please dispose of my matter. The hearing was concluded a long back, and therefore, since no response was received by the petitioner from the appellate authority, so he filed a writ petition before the Honorable High Court with a plea that my appeal should be disposed of in a timely manner. It has been pending from quite a long time. So in this case, though it's a very single line or a single page order, but I would say that is a very important order that the High Court has directed the appellate authority in that case to pass a final order within 8 weeks. So in all those cases wherein the appellate authority is not taking a decision, or the adjudicating authority is not taking a decision, or my matter is long pending before the appropriate forum wherein even the hearing has been concluded. So if a hearing is not concluded, I may not be able to press upon this thing that please pass my order at the earliest. Though I can file a request, but depending on the pendency, I cannot press upon this issue that please pass the order at the earliest. But if the hearing has been concluded, then everything has been done. I believe then in that case, you can press upon these charges that, sir, please pass the order at the earliest because my hearing has been concluded. So in this case also, the assessee was doing the same, and finally the High Court has directed the appellate authority to pass a final order within 8 weeks. So in why I've discussed this particular judgment, because in all those cases wherein you have filed an appeal or you have filed a reply to a show cause notice or any proceeding which is pending before the appropriate authority for the passing of an order, and in all those cases where the hearing has been concluded but the order is not passed in a reasonable time frame, in those cases you can quote this judgment and say that, sir, please pass the order at the earliest, since it has been a long time that my hearing has been concluded. Now moving on to the second topic for the day, which is attachment of property of a third party. So as we all know that in GST Act, Section 83 talks about the provisional attachment. We are going to discuss Section 83, Section 121 and all those sections in the later part of this slide in this topic. But I'll give you a glimpse of what the topic is all about. Like I just mentioned at the starting of, in the preamble of my today's lecture, that let's suppose the GST department has started a proceedings against Mr. A, and Mr. A is residing in the property of Mr. B on a lease basis. So if Mr. A is found non-compliant or any major demand is found against Mr. A, department can, to save the loss, to save the interest of the revenue, department can provisionally attach the properties of Mr. A as per Section 83. Now, intentionally or intentionally, department sometimes attaches the property of third party also who is associated with Mr. A. So in my example, let's say the department has attached the property, the building in which Mr. A was working, and that building is owned by Mr. B. So Mr. B is incurring huge losses because the building is attached by the department in the proceedings ongoing against Mr. A. So the important point to note here is that there is no proceeding going on against Mr. B, but the property of Mr. B has been wrongly attached by the department. So one such case was also before me. We also contested a matter before the customs authorities wherein a property of someone else, a godown of someone else was attached, a third party was attached by the department. So one such case I am going to discuss before you today. It is a matter of flake shipping and logistics versus Union of India and others. A judgment of Honorable Delhi High Court, which was pronounced very recently, 15 days back on 2nd of March 2023. What were the facts of the case? The facts of the case were that the petitioner has taken a loan of 16.5 lakhs from Messrs. Hello Enterprises on 5th of April 2022. The said funds were transferred to the petitioner's bank account. Now, an investigation was initiated against Hello Enterprises and not Flake Shipping and Logistics. But in between attaching the bank account of Hello Enterprises, the bank account of Flake Shipping and Logistics was also attached on the surmise that Hello Enterprises has transferred 16.5 lakhs to Flake Shipping and Logistics, and therefore we have to save the interest of the revenue by attaching the account of Flake Shipping and Logistics also. So, Flake Shipping and Logistics, who is the petitioner in this particular case, filed a writ petition before the Honorable Delhi High Court stating that, sir, my bank account has been wrongly attached. I have nothing to do with this proceedings. I am not a part of these proceedings even, and therefore, please direct them to deattach my bank account. So, what was held by the Honorable Delhi High Court? It was held that there is no material against the petitioner, except that a sum of 16.5 lakhs were disbursed from Hello Enterprises to the petitioner. This particular line, the second bullet that I have just showed before you, this is a very important line which has been repeatedly held by many high courts as well as in the circular or the FAQs regarding the provisional attachment, which says that attachment of a bank account is a very draconian measure. It is a very drastic measure in its own nature, and it should be used as a last resort. So Delhi High Court also noted the same. And as an interim measure, they have suspended the order of attachment against the petitioner, that is Flake Shipping and Logistics. Though to save the interest of the revenue, they have directed the petitioner to deposit 16.5 lakhs with the court in the court exchequer, not with the revenue, in the court exchequer, pending this proceedings, this writ petition before the Delhi High Court. And in future, let's say it is decided that Flake Shipping and Logistics has nothing to do with Hello Enterprises, then it will be refunded back to Flake Shipping and Logistics. And however, if any contradictory evidence is produced before the Honorable Delhi High Court that Flake Shipping and Logistics is also aiding and abetting with Hello Enterprises in evasion of taxes, then it will be transferred to the GST department to pass a final order. So this was the judgment wherein the Honorable Delhi High Court has suspended the order of attachment and said that you should not attach the entire bank account of Flake Shipping and Logistics. Even if you feel that there is a diversion of funds, you can only demand the amount of 16.5 lakhs. Since your inquiry is not against Flake Shipping, it is against Hello Enterprises. So we have two similar cases before us. I'll just discuss those cases with you. Abhi Engineering Corporation Private Limited versus Union of India. It is a matter of Bombay High Court, wherein an escrow account was jointly held by two parties. One of the parties was a part of proceedings. However, the another party was not part of the proceedings. So in this case, also Bombay High Court passed the order saying that you cannot attach the escrow account to the extent it is owned by the third party. Then there is another judgment of Chandra Dyeing and Printing Mills Private Limited versus Union of India, which is a judgment of Honorable Gujarat High Court, in which the example that I just gave you, that the defaulter against whom proceedings were initiated was the tenant in a building, and building was owned by a third person. So the building was attached in between the proceedings against the tenant. However, Chandra Dyeing and Printing Mills was the owner of that building, and they filed a writ petition before the Gujarat High Court, and it was held by the Gujarat High Court in this particular case that provisional attachment of the building is illegal since there is no proceeding lying against the owner, and only the proceedings against the tenant is lying. So the first judgment of Bombay High Court is a judgment of GST regime only, and the second judgment of Gujarat High Court is a judgment of excise law, the erstwhile indirect tax law. So in the previous regime as well as the current regime, the courts have consistently taken this view that the attachment of a property belonging to the third party who is not part of the proceedings of the GST department should not be done. Now, a question arises that what is the law behind attachment of the property? So, taking few minutes of your time, I'll just quickly walk you through the provisions that are there, which says whose property can be attached or not. So, Section 83 talks about the provisional attachment, which wide subsection 1 says that the property can be attached belonging to the taxable person or any person specified in subsection 1A of Section 122 in such manner as may be prescribed. So, it prescribes the property which can be attached belonging to two people. One, the taxable person against whom any proceedings have been initiated, or any other person who is specified in 122 1A. So 122 talks about the penalty in certain cases, and 1A talks about two people One who retains the benefit of a transaction which is covered under subsection so and so, the 4 clauses of section so and so. So this involves a fake invoice also. And the second is the person at whose instance such transaction is conducted. So the second talks about the intermediary, I would say, or any other third person who helps in getting all those transactions done. And the first person that they are talking about is the one who takes a commission or who takes a cut out of the evasion of taxes. So, for example, a transaction of entry has been moved from black to white, and a person has retained a commission or a certain proceeds out of that transaction. So, it is a matter of fake invoice. So, in this case, the person who has retained the benefit of a transaction, his property can also be attached, or the person at whose instance such transaction is conducted, his property can also be attached. But in those 3 cases that I have talked to you, in those 3 cases, department has not proved that the entire rationale behind allowing the officer to cancel the registration from a retrospective effect is because if a person has been engaged in a wrongful transaction, fake invoices or any similar kind of a transaction, clandestine removal, in that case, they have to stop the taxpayer and they have to stop the benefit that the taxpayer has given to the transactions that he has done prior to the date on which he has been जब वो डिपार्टमेंट की पकड़ में आ गया. But what about the cases in which there is a genuine person doing genuine business, but due to some financial crunch or due to certain any reason, the department has cancelled the GST registration? But in those cases also, they have been cancelling the GST registration from retrospective. So one such case we are going to discuss. The name of the judgment has been wrongly mentioned here. But the facts of this case were the petitioner has filed an application to surrender his GST registration with effect from 31st of July 2021, owing to closure of business. So I have closed my business. I have applied an application for surrender of my GST registration with effect from 31st of July 2021, since I'm not been doing any business after that. However, I've been the officer issued a show cause notice stating that the application for surrendering of GST registration should be rejected by stating reason as others only. We have ample number of judgments wherein the registration cancellation, the refund cancellation, all those proceedings have been done. This is a mechanical one-way order or a one-way one word order or one word SCN. So in this case also there was just one word saying that others, stating reason as others. Petitioner did not file any reply, therefore his application was rejected by the officer. So the registration was not cancelled owing after the application filed by the assessor. After this, since the assessee has closed his business, he stopped filing GST registration. This is a case of many taxpayers around Delhi NCR that they have applied for the GST registration cancellation. Department has not accepted the request. They have stopped doing the business. They have occupied in certain other business. They have stopped looking at the GST registration that was lying there, and they have stopped filing any GST registration. But department after some time come and they have issued a show cause notice saying that you have not filed a return for a continuous period of 6 months and therefore we are going to cancel your GST registration. After that, an order was passed wherein a retrospective GST registration was cancelled from 2nd of July 2017. So from the very inception of the GST coming into force, the registration of this particular assessee petitioner was sought to be cancelled, mainly because they have not filed a return for a continuous period of 6 months, though they have closed the business and they were not even liable to file those returns. Procedurally, they were liable to file returns, but they have applied for the registration cancellation, which was not accepted by the department, so they have not filed the returns. So now, against the retrospective cancellation, because if this retrospective cancellation persists, then their suppliers as well as their customers are going to be approached by the GST department saying that you have done a transaction from Mr. A. Mr. A's registration has been cancelled from a retrospective effect, and therefore all your transactions after 2nd of July 2017 with Mr. A are going to be questionable. So to avoid such a scenario, they have filed a writ petition against this particular order saying that retrospective cancellation is wrong. So in this case, the Delhi High Court held that there is no reason why the petitioner cancellation was effected from retrospective effect. It is very important to note this finding. You can see in majority of the orders that are passed by the department, cancelling your registration from a retrospective effect. They never mention why your registration is being cancelled from a retrospective effect and not from a prospective date. So in this case also, it was held by the Delhi High Court. It was held by the Honorable High Court that there is no reason, no reason or ground has been stated in the order as to why the petitioner's cancellation has been effected from a retrospective effect. And basis this finding, it was held that the respondents were directed to cancel the petitioner's registration from 31st of July 2021. That is the date on which petitioner himself asked that my registration should be cancelled or surrendered. So what we understand from this particular case, what are the key takeaways from this particular case, is that whenever an order is passed without disclosing the reason for cancelling the registration from a retrospective effect, not from a prospective effect, we can always challenge that order of retrospective cancellation. Also, in all those cases where the assessee is not filing their due returns, they are not filing any application for cancellation of registration. They have filed earlier, it was rejected, they have stopped looking back. In those cases, whenever the department is proposing cancellation, they should never do it from a retrospective date, as is held in this particular case. And in all those cases, the registration should be cancelled from a date when the business has been closed, from a date the petitioner or the taxpayer requests the department to cancel their GST registration. Moving on to last two topics for the day. Both the topics pertains to the refund. So this particular topic is a judgment of Brij Mohan Mangla versus Union of India and others. This is a judgment of Honorable Delhi High Court, pronounced almost a month back on 23rd of February 2023. The facts of this case are very simple. That assessee filed a refund claim under inverted duty structure. Refund was rejected. Assessee filed an appeal. Appeal was allowed by the First Appellate Authority. So First Appellate Authority has categorically held that Brij Mohan Mangla ji is eligible to claim the refund. In pursuance of the order in appeal passed by the First Appellate Authority, the petitioner filed a fresh refund claim. However, a DM was issued on the same reason as the refund was earlier rejected. So they started the same procedure again. Petitioner filed a reply to the DM also, the show cause notice or the DM also. The revenue did not process the refund claim even after First Appellate Authority's decision was in favor, and therefore the writ petition was filed. So summing up, what was the facts of the case? That a refund claim was filed. It was rejected on so and so grounds. I filed an appeal. The Appellate Authority has sanctioned the refund claim. They have allowed my appeal. After that, I have filed a fresh refund claim. However, again, a show cause notice was DM or a show cause notice was issued, raising the same points which have already been decided by the First Appellate Authority, and basis that my refund claim was not processed, it was withheld by the department, and a writ petition was filed. Now, revenue, when asked by the Delhi High Court, the revenue stated that the order of Appellate Authority will be challenged by the department, and therefore we are not processing the refund claim. However, it was held by Delhi High Court that department does not have any particular order granting stay from the order of Appellate Authority. So if the Appellate Authority's decision is in favor of the assessee, and even if department has to file an appeal before the upper court, though there is no tribunal constituted and they have not filed the writ petition before the High Court, and they were waiting for the tribunal to get formed. So Delhi High Court said that as and when the tribunal will be formed, you file the appeal. But since at this particular point of time, you do not have any order which grants stay from the order of the Appellate Authority sanctioning the refund to the petitioner, therefore you cannot ignore the order passed by the Appellate Authority merely because you want to file an appeal against the order of the Appellate Authority, and therefore the revenue was directed to sanction the refund along with interest. Now, why I have discussed this particular case law today? Because in many cases, whenever we have an order of the higher forum available with us, in cases of registration or in cases of refund or in cases of, let's say, the adjudicating order also, where we have deposited certain amount of pre-deposit, Whenever we approach the department to sanction the refund or the refund of pre-deposit or to activate our GST registration, they always say that we have to procure the instructions from the head office, that whether they are whether they are reviewing the order, whether they are challenging this order before the upper forum. So in those cases, you can definitely quote this particular judgment saying that, sir, even if you are going to challenge this order, since you do not have any stay order as of now, you process my refund, you process my registration, you activate my registration, and if in future you get it was also held by Delhi High Court that if in future the department succeeds in its appeal, they always have the tools and the powers to claim back the refund or the claim or the again disallowing the registration, rejecting the cancelling the GST registration of the SSC. So there is no point holding the refund or the registration of the SSC. Now, proceeding to the last topic for the day, there was this one case wherein the refund was rejected due to fake invoice issue. The judgment is of Balaji Exim versus Commissioner CGST and others. Again, a judgment of Honorable Delhi High Court pronounced very recently, a week back on 10th of March 2023. The facts of the case were that the SSC filed a refund application seeking refund of accumulated ITC. The acknowledgement was issued. However, the application was not processed as the supplier from whom petitioner has purchased goods had allegedly received fake invoices from its supplier. So, Balaji Exim has received goods from, let's say, Mr. A. So, there was a contention of the department that Mr. A has received goods from certain fake suppliers, and therefore, since Mr. A is under the scrutiny, we are not going to sanction the refund of Balaji Exim. Petitioner wrote several letters for processing of refund claim. However, they were not acceded to. The requests were not acceded to. In the meantime, petitioner also got to know that Mr. A has issued fake invoices and its ITC is also blocked. However, they have filed a writ petition before seeking unblocking of e-credit ledger also. After that, a show cause notice was issued to Balaji Exim on the ground that Mr. A, who supplied goods to Balaji Exim, has been availing fake ITC, and a proceeding against Mr. A is going on before DGGI, and therefore you are not entitled for the refund. Though it sounds very vague, but there are many cases on the same issue. So petitioner filed a reply to that SCN stating that my purchases were genuine and therefore I should not be denied the refund. However, the refund was rejected on the same ground. Appeal was filed. Appeal was also rejected, saying that petitioner has not received the goods and therefore he has violated the condition for availing ITC of Section 16(2). So basically, though it is a matter of refund, but it talks about the fake invoice issue only. So what was held by the Honorable Delhi High Court? It was held that there is no allegation that the invoices were not paid by the petitioner. So a common plea that we all take that I have paid all the invoices, I have paid the taxes as well as the cesses to the supplier Mr. A, and therefore I should not be made liable. So in this case also, Balaji Exim produced his bank statements as well as the ledgers, saying that I have made the whole payment to Mr. A and therefore I should not be made liable. So Honorable Delhi High Court noted the same, that invoices have been paid fully by the petitioner through banking channels. It is also important to note that there is no allegation that the goods in question were not exported overseas. Another finding that has been given by Honorable Delhi High Court is that Balaji Exim was engaged in exporting the goods overseas, and therefore there is no allegation against Balaji Exim that they have not exported the goods overseas. The only allegation is that Mr. A, who is a supplier of Balaji Exim, has been found fake or any proceedings going on against Mr. A. Now, a very, very important and a very unique finding that has been given by Delhi High Court in this particular case, which has not been given in any other case, is that a list of suppliers of Mr. A was found. That was the list of the fake suppliers who were supplying goods to Mr. A. And after perusal of that list, it was contended by the petitioner that, sir, many of the petitioners, all the petitioners who have supplied goods to Mr. A has been done before the date I have filed the refund claim. So what does it mean to say? That if I have exported the goods in September 2019 and I have taken the supply, I have taken the purchases from Mr. A in August or September 19 only, against which I am filing the refund claim. However, the proceedings against Mr. A is going on for the period July 17. So in any way, even if you are establishing a chain of purchase and sale, the supply that has been made to Mr. A in July 17, which is under question, is nowhere related to the supply that I have taken from Mr. A in the month of August 19. So since those two periods are totally unrelated, therefore those two transactions are also unrelated. And if that particular transaction is even found fake, then also it has nothing to do with what refund I have filed for, with what overseas transaction I am doing with Mr. A. It was further held that petitioner's refund application has been rejected merely because of suspicion without any evidence. Thus, refund claim could not be denied. And it was a very good finding that has been given, is that petitioner is not required to examine the affairs of a dealer. So in every fake invoice case, we take this common plea that, sir, I should not be made liable to check each and every transaction that my supplier is doing, to check whether my supplier is paying GST or not, to check all these compliances. So it was again held by Delhi High Court that petitioner should not be expected to examine the affairs of its dealers. And with this findings, the refund claim was directed to be sanctioned to the petitioner. So with this, I conclude today's session. We have talked about 5 topics for the day. One, where the appeal is not being disposed of by the appellate authority. There is a judgment of Calcutta High Court wherein they have directed the appellate authority to dispose of the appeal within 8 weeks. Then we discussed 3 judgments of Delhi High Court, Gujarat High Court, and a Bombay High Court, wherein the attachment of property has been done of the third person who is not related to the person against whom the proceedings are being initiated, or the third person is not a party to that proceedings. In that case, all the high courts have held that attachment is not valid. The third topic that we discussed is the GST registration cancellation from retrospective effect, wherein since the assessee has applied for cancellation of GST registration himself, therefore it was held by the Honorable Delhi High Court that it cannot be done from a retrospective effect, and there is no reason to be done registration to be cancelled from a retrospective effect, and you should do it from a prospective date only. Fourth topic that we have discussed is withholding of refund claim on the surmise that we are going to file an appeal. In that case, it is a very important finding that has been given by the Honorable High Court that since you do not have any stay order, you cannot withhold the refund claim. You have to proceed as per the order that is available with the department, that is the order of the first appellate authority. And the fifth and last topic that we have discussed for the day is that refund rejected due to fake invoice issue. We have discussed many findings of the Honorable Delhi High Court in this particular case. So with this, I conclude today's session. I again thank Team Taxo for giving me this opportunity, and I also thank all of you to come today and join this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a wonderful deliberation and giving us a detailed analysis on recent judicial pronouncements under indirect taxation. So now we have few questions in the chat Q&A box. We'll take one by one, and if anyone has any query, please drop the questions in the chat box itself. So Vinod Kumar Sharma ji asked, can we take 2 GST registrations, GST registration number for the same premise in respect of the 2 different brands? Sir?
Definitely, sir. There is no law that prohibits taking GST registration on the same premise with respect to 2 different businesses. So, for example, there is a premise wherein me and my brother is practicing under 2 different firms or 2 different brand names. So, definitely we can take registration of the same premise, though physically there has to be certain demarcation. It should not be the same premise that you are sitting in. But yes, there are many offices in which 2 or more GST registrations are operating from the same premise. So, there is no restriction in the law.
So another question from Vinod Kumar Sharma ji is there any judgment in respect to validity of section 16(4)?
Sir, as far as my knowledge goes, there is no judgment so far with respect to section 16(4). Yesterday only I received a new case on section 16(4) only. I have told that client also that there is no judgment till now on Section 16(4). But soon we are going to expect some judgments, because I've been recently informed that in Delhi itself, from one anti-evasion team, 400 notices on the same issue has been launched at a mass level. So I believe in coming future, there is going to be a very good judgment of a Delhi High Court or some other High Court on Section 16(4). As of now, in my knowledge, there is no judgment.
So there is another question from Abhinav Jain. Why GST authority rejects sale deed as proof of place of business while applying new GST and registration?
Sir, this I need to check. I don't think they are rejecting the sale deed. They only say that this particular document is not notarized, or this is not, registered sale deed. You have to get the stamp duty on that sale deed. This is, I believe, what they say. I don't think that they are rejecting the sale deed. They are rejecting the sale deed or the lease deed, which does not bear the stamp duty. But I don't think that they are rejecting. In my knowledge, I don't think. I need to check this, sir.
So another question from Vinod Kumar Sharma ji. Same firm can take 2 GST registrations for 2 brands in same premise?
Yes, sir, definitely. As I told you, it can definitely do that. If I'm operating 2 different brands and the head office of both the brands is the same, the team is same, or I would say even if the team is same or different, they are operating from the same address, being under the same management, I would say. So I don't think that there is any problem. Nowhere in the law it says that there is a problem. Even there are ample cases wherein it is being happening practically. There is no problem. Big companies are running from the same premise.
So other question from Abhinav Janji. Where a sister concern does not having real place of business and it using our office address as a token address, how to use this address for GST and registration without rent agreement?
I need to read the question again. Where a sister concern does not have a real place of business and it using our office address as a token address, how to use this address for GST and registration without rent agreement? Sir, I don't think, in your question only there is a solution, that you are saying that your sister concern does not have a real place of business. So that is a matter of concern, because in future department comes for a visit or an inspection and you are not able to show the books of accounts or or any person who belongs to that sister concern. So that is going to be an issue. So without going into your further question, I would say that if that sister concern does not have a real place of business, you should not be using your address as a token address, because in future you are going to face issues, sir.
So another point from Abhinav Janji, I believe this is an add-on to his previous question, that sir, my sale deed has stamp duty and notary. The law does not specifically mention sale deed. It says electricity bill and rent agreement. Since sale deed not explicitly mentioned, they indirectly mention wording of bare law examples. Bare law lacks sale deed as example.
Sir, I don't think, like I just mentioned, I don't think sale deed should have any problem. If it bears stamp duty as well as it is notarized, I don't think. The cases I have heard is that they are rejecting the lease deed, sale deed, saying that it is not on. It does not bear stamp duty. But if your document is stamped, it has the stamp duty. I don't see any reason behind rejecting the document.
So now
law cannot. I'll just add on to this. Law cannot add each and every case or each and every document in its ambit. It only gives an illustrative list as a guiding parameter that what all should be there. But it cannot, like you mentioned, the law has not explicitly mentioned sale deed. Sir, it does not mention many documents which can be used as an address proof. So I don't think that this can be the reason.
So documents which have legal sanctity are acceptable, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So I hope there are no more questions. So with this, we have come to an end of today's wonderful session, and we hope you all found the session informative and insightful. I would like to thank CA Anmol Gupta ji for his valuable time and for sharing his wonderful insights with all of us. We, the team Taxo, thank you everyone for being part of the session and making it a successful one. Once again, thank you everyone.